I could get your attention for a little bit. First of all, I'd like to say thank you for coming out today and welcome everyone here for the groundbreaking for our loop loader project in Caldwell County. My name is Craig Childs, for those of you that don't know me. I'm Senior Vice President of Agri Services Division for MFA, which is all of the retail operations that MFA has. This project is a joint project between MFA Oil Company and MFA Incorporated, and we're both very excited to be embarking on this adventure here in Caldwell County. We've spent a lot of time researching this project, trying to figure out the right area. There's been a lot of folks involved in the project, and you might ask, why did we pick this area? It's because it's tributary to several locations that we have that could provide volume to the facility to get it to the capacity levels that we needed to move the project forward. The purpose of this project is to provide access to our members to markets that we haven't been able to hit before. This facility is going to be able to hit markets in the southern Gulf United States for Gulf export. It's going to be able to hit markets Mexico. It's also going to serve that end user market Mitch in the south, southwest, as you reach out Arizona, California market area. So we feel this gives us access to a large market area that we've never been able to touch before. As I started to say a while ago, this is a joint project that has taken a lot of effort to get this far. First of all, Mitch Dawson, the director of our grain operations, this was kind of his brainchild 3 to 4 years ago as we looked out to the future and where we needed to be going with the company. So he's had a lot to do with the project from the ground up. We've had several MFA Oil Company folks that have been involved from the beginning as we try to put this thing together in a fashion that best served our members. We got 2 of our staff engineers here, Nathan Belstall and Darren Harris, both been, and Dennis. We got all 3 in here, I forgot, yeah. They've all 3 been very involved in the project. Dennis has kind of been in charge of the building designs. Nathan and Darren more in charge of the facility layout and design. But it's been a lot of work on their plate the last year and a half as we brought this project forward. We got local employees that have been there to help anytime we need. James Dotson, Adam McIntyre, both have just been able to do anything we needed to anytime we called to try to arrange meetings and get things put together. Green Hills Planning Commission, we reached out to them pretty early on and asked for their input and help as we kind of narrowed down to Caldwell County being the right place. Caldwell County Commissioners have been very gracious, welcoming of this project from day one. So that's made it easy to come to Caldwell County. We've also had a meeting with the Gomer Township folks that involved a road closing in Gomer Township. They've been very gracious to work with, and we appreciate their support of the project as well. Last but certainly not least, and those that have been involved in the project, when you're going to build a loop loader, you have to work with the railroad. And Union Pacific Railroad is the rail line that goes along the edge of this property. And I would tell you that we have been more than pleased with the excitement within the UP Railroad to get this project moving forward. They have been very helpful, probably to a point beyond my belief. My past experiences, and Bill Dunn, I think, can attest to this, working with the railroads can prove to be kind of complicated sometimes. But by and large, this project has went very smooth. I probably should do a few introductions. There's a couple, let's see, 3 individuals from MFA Oil Company Board. There'll be Wayne Wright, Benny Farrell, and Ralph Schallert. If you guys would stand and be recognized. Okay. Yep. Thank you all for coming. From MFA Incorporated Board, we've got Don Mills, Barry Gagay, Casey Spencer, David Callis, John Moffitt, and Don Schlusselman, and Tom Den. Well, I'm thinking Tom might not RSVP since you weren't on my list. We also have a couple special guests here with CoBank. We've got David Sparks, Brad Lee. Let's see, who came with you? Jim. Where are you at, Jim? I didn't. Right here. Okay, I'm looking right at you. Appreciate you guys coming out. CoBank is our lead lender on this project, and they've been very supportive of this project. We really appreciate your support. With that, I've got a few folks that I'm going to introduce and allow a few minutes to share some thoughts with the group. It gives me great pleasure to introduce MFA Incorporated's President and CEO, Mr. Ernie Verslues.
Thanks, Craig. Mitch, come here a minute. Craig said Mitch was the brainchild behind this project. 3 or 4 years ago, he was in an NGFA meeting, and when they dispersed, everybody went back to their places. Brad Lee called me and said, "Hey, Mitch said you guys are going to build a loop loader one of these days." And all I said to Mitch or to Brad was, "Hey, that's Mitch talking. You'll figure him out someday." I was absolutely wrong, Mitch. Hey, good afternoon. It is my pleasure to be here today. And as Craig said, we're proud to be partnering with MFA Oil on this project. Part of MFA Incorporated's mission statement is a directive that we're going to provide or create economic benefit for our member owners. Certainly this project provides that opportunity. To top that off, it also provides some economic opportunity or growth for the area that surrounds this facility. With the largest economic benefit is obviously for Caldwell County, so we're happy to be part of that. Our home offices, as well as the oil company, are in Columbia, Missouri, but I would tell you, the face of MFA really is the rural communities throughout our trade territory. Okay? We're proud to be good citizens in those communities, and today we're proud to be able to be part of the growth in those same communities. The project, there's been a lot of work, a lot of effort going, and it's taken a lot to get to this point in time. It's taken leadership, foresight, some cooperation, some communication, some negotiation, and also some patience, hasn't it, Craig? Craig thanked a number of different individuals and groups that got us to this point. I too want to thank the group. But one thing Craig did not bring up in his piece is he didn't mention himself, okay? He talked about Mitch. Maybe Mitch was the brainchild. But I'm here to tell this group, there's nobody that's put out as much effort on this project to make sure we got to the point we are today than Craig Child. So Craig, thank you. As you look at MFA Incorporated and MFA Oil Company, we got a significant emphasis in the trade area in which we do business. If you look in terms of size, MFA Incorporated is the 34th largest cooperative in the United States. The oil company is 38th. And if you follow the oil company recently, they've been in a growth mode. They're going to climb from 38th. Our 34th position probably going to be in jeopardy in a few years. So they've enjoyed some very good success. But I would also tell you, we're not driven to be the largest. Growth is good, and we want to continue to seek growth. But at the end of the day, I think myself, Mark Fenner would tell you, we want to be recognized as the best in our trade territory. If we can achieve that goal, and I think in most all of our trade territories we do, we're going to continue to create opportunities where we can grow in those same communities. Throughout the analysis stage of this project, the staff at MFA Oil Company, they have shown unlimited passion on this project. To MFA Incorporated, this is a big project. It's the largest single project, the largest amount of money that we've spent in one geographical era in the history of the company. And as you can probably assume, Craig introduced 3 bankers here. We're going to borrow some money to build the project. Tom Dent's here. He's from Iowa. Throughout the course of this project, there's been a lot of conversation. Everybody remembers a movie called Field of Dreams. There's a statement or a comment in there that says, "If you build it, they will come." I've heard that over the last 2 or 3 years. But I'm going to tell you, I don't believe that. Just building it doesn't get it done. I would tell you we're confident we can do that. Grain origination is one of the core strengths of MFA Incorporated. This is not a new venture for us. We're good at grain origination. And I'd also say that there's very few areas left in the state of Missouri where one of these facilities makes sense, and this area right here is one of them. Producers are getting bigger, their equipment's getting bigger and faster. As a co-op, we got to continue to keep pace. We've got to be able on the grain side to move out grain as fast as we receive it. We've got to be more efficient. I believe this facility gives us that opportunity. I also say this facility is a win-win, whether you're a producer in this area, MFA operations north of here, the MFA grain system as a whole, or Caldwell County. It's a win-win for everybody. And the good thing is, this is just the beginning. Today's exciting, but I'm going to tell you, for me, I tell you, Craig, it doesn't top what's going to happen in 15 to 16 months from now when the first load of grain is received and that first shuttle is sent out. Will be a very exciting time. And with that, I thank you.
Now I would like to take the opportunity to introduce Mark Fenner, who is President and CEO of the MFA Oil Company.
Thanks, Craig. This reminds me of the old story of a cattle farmer who shows up for church one day, and he gets to church and he's the only guy there. And the preacher begins preaching, and he goes on for an hour and a half. And keeps preaching, and finally he gets done. And as he's walking out, shakes his hand, the preacher says, "Well, how was that? Get your money's worth today?" And he says, "Yeah." He says, "I guess." He says, "I'm a cattle farmer, though, and if I got one cow that shows up to eat, I won't feed him the whole damn barn." So I'm not going to feed you the whole barn. But great to be here. What a great day for Missouri farmers. Super to be here. I'm just from down the road in Ray County. Went to school a little bit in St. Joe. So from this area, I actually was in Washington, D.C. a few weeks ago and met with several senators, Roy Blunt being one of them. And he asked where I was from. I said, "I'm from Ray County." He said, "Man, it took me forever to win Ray County, but I finally did." And I said, "Yeah." I said, "I probably didn't get much help from my dad. He's kind of a Democrat, but my mom kind of helped out." But I said, "My dad's passed away," and he goes, without missing a beat, he goes, "Well, at least the right one died." That is a true story. That is the story. That was a good line. I want to introduce a few people from the oil company. Kenny Steves, our Vice President of Operations. Brian Arnold, who's in our maintenance and contract building area, and Robert Condren, our CFO. So I just can't get up here and say ditto from what Ernie said, but pretty much want to kind of just follow his comments. Really, the oil company's vision, not the oil company, the Incorporated's vision of this grain shuttle. They brought it to the table, approached us as a possible partner, and like them, we're passionate about Missouri farmers and wanted to do what we could to try to help out, and we see it as a great project for us. So we want to show that we're very collaborative with MFA Incorporated. They're a great partner. We share many ventures, retirement plans, and things like that, and so wonderful partner for us. And I also want to thank our board for their leadership, wanting to be a part of this and show that we do care about farmers. And while we are growing, we want to make sure that we don't forget, what our core business is, and that's why we're here, and that's to provide improvement for farmers and rural communities throughout not only Missouri, but other rural areas that we're into as well. So just want to thank you all for coming. I'm not going to stand up here for an hour and a half, so thanks so much. Appreciate it.
We also have the privilege of being joined today by the Missouri Director of Agriculture, Richard Fordyce, and I've asked Richard if he would like to speak and say a few words to the group. So,
well, thank you, Craig. This is a big day, okay? This is a big day for this part of the state, and I'm a farmer, MFA member and customer, just about 45 miles northwest of here in Bethany. And this is a really big day. I saw Ernie when I first walked up, and I told Ernie, I said, if no one's done this yet, I want to welcome you to God's country. And this is where I grew up. This is our farming operation, as I said, it's just up the road. So I'm excited about the opportunities that it'll bring to me personally and to my farm. I want to introduce a couple of people with the department. Chris Clinklin is our division director for grain inspection and grain regulatory programs, and then Ken Henderson is our grain regulatory guy at the department. Both of them do a great job, and one of the many responsibilities that we have at the Department of Agriculture is making sure that we are assisting companies like MFA when it comes to moving grain and continuing the commerce in rural Missouri. I know you've heard it many times, but agriculture is the #1 industry in the state of Missouri, and I like to add to that, second place is not even close. There are some folks that argue with me about that, but that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So the place that MFA Incorporated and MFA Oil hold in the state as a partner in the industry, a promoter of the industry, is critical. We would not be where we are today if it were not for those two companies, the position of agriculture. I've had an opportunity to visit with Mark and Ernie a number of times since I've been director. Both great leaders in the industry, and Ernie understands what's important and why you do the things that you do, and Mark is exactly the same way. The things that MFA Oil do to move agriculture forward are critically important. The things that MFA Incorporated do to move agriculture forward are critically important. Why it's so exciting to be in Caldwell County and announcing this really huge event is, if you look around the state of Missouri, you've got ethanol plants kind of positioned around, and they gave marketing opportunities to farmers in those areas. You get into the Kansas City, Mexico area of soybean processing in St. Joe. So to have something, I think, that will, and I don't want to put a great big gift out there when it's not really out there, but I have a feeling that this facility could have a nice reflection on basis for farmers in this area, but just provide a market that we haven't had. Again, if you look at the map and you put a pin where marketing opportunities exist for grain farmers in this part of the state, we've got to drive a ways. And so having this facility here, I think, is critically important. It's very exciting. I was going to say one more thing. What was it? So in the department, we have a number of priorities. But one of those priorities that ranks up there 3 or 4, 1, 2, 3 or 4, is promoting exports and promoting marketing opportunities for agriculture. Exports are critically important, and exports, I have a feeling that this facility will facilitate some exports outside the borders of the U.S., which is critically important. But exporting out of the state is critically important. So when we look at the opportunity to export and to move product out of the state of Missouri, if it goes to another state, if it goes to another country, we count that as a victory. So again, I think this is going to be a great opportunity. I'm terribly excited about it. I heard rumors, a year and a half ago, and I thought, boy, wouldn't that be awesome if we could get something close to home. So, you guys did a great job keeping this under wraps, I think. But anyway, it's great to be here. Thanks for the invitation, and thanks for the opportunity to speak. Thank you, Craig.
Earlier I mentioned the Caldwell County Commissioners and how gracious they have been working trying to help us get into the county, and I would ask Terry Remery if he would like to say a few words on behalf of the county. Terry is the Economic Development Coordinator for the county.
thank you. I am here on behalf of the commission who's standing back there, and I just want to say that they too have put a lot of work and effort in this project. They're out here with their constituents, and so they hear a lot of things, and they've been extremely supportive, as well as Ed Proctor, who is their attorney, and Ed's kept all of us on the straight and narrow. I do want to say this. I do economic development. I do it in a broader area than just here. So I have the opportunity to deal with a lot of communities. I can tell you politically, it's probably come back to haunt me someday. Politically, working with this commission has been a treat, and I also know that they want to thank you all for everything you've done. I also want to say something about you, Craig, if I may. As I said, I get to deal with a lot of people, a lot of industries and things like that. Craig has been the person I've talked to the most, and I can tell MFA this, and it's not because he fed me, but he's been a treat to work with. He's been extremely professional. He's been to the point, and so I appreciate the opportunity to have worked with you. Thank you, Terry. One last thing to the MFA Oil Group. In case you ever have another project that's kind of similar in size or anything like that, don't hesitate to look our way. Thank you all.
Okay, as we wrap up, I'm sure you all have noticed up on the screen overhead, it's been kind of a 3D renditions that have been put together, kind of shows the facility. But just to give you a little background, it's going to be a 2 million bushel concrete facility with a 1.5 million bushel ground pile. This facility is built for speed. It's going to have two 30,000 bushel an hour dump pits, which probably physically can't get crane off the truck fast enough to ever fill the pit. And it's going to load out rail at 80,000 bushel, up to 80,000 bushel an hour. Once the trains show up, we have about 15-hour window to actually get the train loaded and get it back on the rails. So it is set up for speed. We would anticipate, with the exception early in the morning when the trucks are lined up getting in there, we would anticipate we should never have a line of trucks to dump at this facility. Ernie touched on it just a little bit. From a timeline standpoint, our estimated completion date, and I say estimated pretty hesitantly because you all know any construction project you can run into hurdles along the way. But we're estimating summer of 2017 to bring this facility online. So with that, I would open it up. If there's any questions I can answer, I'd be happy to do so. And if I can't, there's probably someone in the room that can. Again,
Craig, you missed. There was a heck of a corn dryer, propane powered corn dryer.
you are you're exactly right. We are going to have high-speed drying capacity, and there will be an MFA oil propane tank sitting on that. Thank you, Mark. Any questions I can answer? I really appreciate all of you coming out and being a part of this today. It's been a wonderful, wonderful deal, and we really look forward to start seeing construction take place. It's my understanding Daryl equipment's going in this afternoon to start doing some dirt work maybe as early as tomorrow. So things are going to start happening pretty quick. So thank you.